Welcome to today's episode of Spelling Bee Ninja, where we dive into the fascinating world of mathematics. Today, we're exploring the basics of fractions. Fractions are everywhere in our daily lives, from cooking and baking to sharing pizzas with friends. Understanding fractions helps us with division and operations involving parts and wholes. So grab a pencil and paper, and get ready to engage with playful questions that will challenge your thinking and improve your math skills. Let's begin by understanding what a fraction is. A fraction represents a part of a whole, and it is written as a numerator over a denominator. Imagine a pizza cut into 8 equal slices. If you eat 3 slices, what fraction of the pizza have you enjoyed? In this case, you would say you ate 3/8 of the pizza, or 3 out of the 8 slices. This is a simple way to see how fractions can represent portions of something larger. Now, what do the numbers in a fraction represent? In the fraction 5/12, the 5 is the numerator, which tells us how many parts we have, and the 12 is the denominator, showing us how many total equal parts there are. With this concept, we can differentiate between proper and improper fractions. A proper fraction has a numerator smaller than the denominator, which means its value is less than 1. On the other hand, an improper fraction has a numerator that is greater than or equal to the denominator, making its value equal to or greater than 1. For instance, the fraction 7/5 is improper since 7 is more than 5. Understanding these categories helps us work with fractions more skillfully. It's also important to know about equivalent fractions. These are different fractions that represent the same value. A common example is 1/2, which can also be expressed as 2/4 or 4/8. This means if we divide a whole into 2, we get 1 piece, and if we divide it into 4, we would have 2 pieces that make up the same amount. Now, we often need to simplify fractions to their simplest form. Simplifying means finding an equivalent fraction with the smallest possible numerator and denominator. If we take the fraction 6/8, we can divide both the numerator and denominator by 2 to simplify it to 3/4. This process is essential for clear communication in math. When working with fractions, comparing them is crucial. We compare fractions by looking at their numerators when they share the same denominator. The fraction with the larger numerator is greater. For instance, between 5/9 and 2/9, 5/9 is more substantial because 5 is larger than 2. What a useful tool that is! When it comes to adding fractions, if they share the same denominator, the process is straightforward, just add the numerators and keep the denominator the same. For example, 2/7 plus 3/7 equals 5/7. However, if the fractions have different denominators, we first need to find a common one, which can be a little tricky but certainly doable. In addition to basic operations, sometimes we encounter mixed numbers. A mixed number consists of a whole number and a fraction component. When you have an improper fraction, like 7/3, you can convert it to a mixed number. This means dividing the numerator by the denominator. For this example, 7 divided by 3 equals 2 with a remainder of 1, so 7/3 can be expressed as 2 1/3. Isn't that enlightening? Now, let's visualize fractions on a number line. Consider a number line from 0 to 1, divided into 5 equal parts. Each part represents 1/5. If you look at the third mark from 0, can you visualize which fraction it represents? That's right, that's 3/5. This helps us see fractions as part of a whole continuum. Lastly, let's discuss finding fractions of a set. If you have a class of 24 students and 3/4 brought their lunch, to find out how many students that means, first, you divide the total number of students by the denominator, which is 4. So, 24 divided by 4 gives us 6. Then, you multiply that number by the numerator, 3. So 6 times 3 equals 18. This means 18 students brought lunch. Fractions might seem a little challenging at first, but once you get the hang of it, they become an invaluable tool in understanding the world around you. Knowing how to work with fractions opens up a door to solving more complex problems and making sense of everyday situations. It's like unlocking another level in a video game, helping you level up your math skills. Today, we've journeyed through the basics of fractions, learning about numerators and denominators and exploring the concepts of proper and improper fractions. We've also touched on equivalent fractions, simplifying them, adding fractions with the same denominator, converting improper fractions to mixed numbers, and visualizing them on a number line. And finally, we learned how to find fractions of a set. Remember, fractions are more than just numbers, they represent parts of our world, whether in sharing food, measuring in recipes, or even in time. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of fractions. We hope you feel more confident in working with these important mathematical concepts. Don't forget to keep practicing your fraction skills using the resources we mentioned earlier, like Khan Academy and Math is Fun. Join us next time on Spelling Bee Ninja for more exciting math lessons. Keep learning, and keep having fun with numbers.